damn! And the look on his face.
Hell, woman, what's your problem?
Oh, damn! To say he's pissed would be a complete understatement. Had I been the weak-willed sort, I'd probably cower under this sharp gaze. But that simply isn't how I roll. If he thinks he can scare me and do as he pleases here, just because I'm a woman, or whatever his reasons may be, he's got another thing coming for him. So instead, I return it to him with the same intensity, with the same venom. Oh, this is like Days of Our Lives, damn, give me more. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Gat for Macy, and welcome back to another episode of The Letter. Now, it's been a little while since we last played The Letter. I don't even remember what happened last time. I think, Miss McCulloch, I think that's her. I think she's locked up in the dungeon, and now we're on the other girl's story. So we're just gonna progress and carry on and keep reading. I got my coffee so my throat won't get dry and all stuffy and shit. I hope you guys are entertained as much as I am, because it's really getting interesting and I really want to finish it. I don't want to just stop it and go over to... I know we're continuing Doom 3, and we're going to keep continuing Doom 3, but I really want to finish this one. It's really getting good. So, without further ado, Gat for Macy with The Letter. See you guys at the end of the video. Why is her heart beating like so fast, man? I need a long rest after this. My hands fall uselessly to my sides, and I'm from how taut... Oh yes, yeah, we crashed the car because of the ghost thing at the back. I remember this. Yes, yeah, now I remember.
Answer me, will you? You're scaring me.
I can't answer you, I'm freaked out myself.
You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Yeah, I'm not leaving my car here, you crazy.
Can you keep it down?
Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional. But with heat prickling at the back of my eyes and the mouth throbbing at my temple, I could honestly do with a little silence for now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
You looking crazy right there, Belle. So what did you can you just chill and relax, okay? It's not Twilight, so don't get all dramatic here, okay?
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry. A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road. Or a mangled mess anywhere.
Did she not see the ghost now? Or am I tripping? Is Rebecca the only one that saw the ghost?
All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Well, I'm glad you ended off with that, because I was getting very skeptical, really.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Yeah.
I don't have a license.
Well, go get one.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years. Do you see why now? I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Isabella looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of those words she let loose earlier is a small truth. Her stay has always been meant to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home. It's what she'd tell herself during her first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And if there's something in her reasons that has changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch, it's one thing I'll never bother to ask. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise.
Are we not going to discuss the apparition or the ghost popping up at the back seat?
Just please, can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
I wish we could, Rebecca, but I need to know what the end of the story is. Tuesday. It begins innocently enough. Tuesday morning arrives like any other day before it, bright and clear. Well, it's pretty stormy outside for now, but anyway. Even though it comes with an extra helping of the unusual October weather, I appreciate being able to catch a glimpse of the clear skies lately. After going through a bout of sickness last week, it does something to lift the mood of what would otherwise be a dreary morning. And despite being mostly a creature of habit, I wind up waking earlier than usual because of it. Still no earlier than Isabella, it appears. I've assumed she'll take a day or two off because of what happened to Miss Cooper, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The sound of the morning news. Scrubby-Dubby, please. Dressed from a unit when I walk past on the way to my mailbox. But do they stay in the same flat area? Chances are around this hour she's already dressed and ready to go, probably just waiting for the next bus to arrive. I've tried following her example before, but I don't think I'll be repeating that.
Really? How can anyone be up before the sun is up?
I'm always up like that early. Every morning, 5 o'clock. Up and about. Making coffee, making breakfast, dressing, cleaning myself up and, getting the day started, It's that way that every day. So, yeah. It's a habit she got from home, she said, instilled in her by the kind of life she grew up in. Like clockwork, it's always at 4 a.m., either to help with the chores or prepare her little siblings for school. It surprises me the last time. She just didn't look like someone who could. In the end, I've simply passed it off as one of the many things anyone will have to get used to around her. Not that I'll ever fully understand. I'm my parents' only child. We aren't well off, but so far I've lived a relatively easy life. I didn't have to think about bills or food for the next day or paying for any siblings' tuition on top of my own or supporting a sick father's medication. All I have to worry about were my grades. If it gained Mum and Da's approval or what we'd be having for dinner, when put next to hers, they all pale in comparison. They look less like problems and more like petty issues this way.
Petty issues?
Jesus, chapters, please! But as unimportant as it all sounds, sometimes its ugly head rears at the most inappropriate moments. And sometimes they come through your mailbox in the form of a fancy-looking letter, pretty ribbons and all. Oh, she's getting the invitation for the party, yeah. Whoever sent this has spent silly money on the envelope alone. Verging on ridiculous, really. I can already imagine Isabella wrinkling her nose once she sees this. Then she'll complain about unnecessary expenses and rich people problems. I'm almost afraid to touch it myself. As if simply brushing a hand against its crisp surface will be enough to put a crease on it, and it'll be a terrible slight to the sender. But as extravagant as I find this, it isn't really the first time I've received one. Most of the time it's not even for me, so who am I to complain? Either way, no look of surprise crosses my face once I flip the envelope over to see my parents' name written in a neat script.
Nothing new then.
Mr. Alistair and Mrs. Alyssa Gales. Mr. Alistair. Are they not married? Their years in the academe, whatever, naturally brought with it various connections. People from other fields, art, science, business, politics, you name it. This one, though, gives off a much personal vibe. Letters like this usually come from old students, people who've grown fond of my parents, and they in turn treat like children of their own. I've only met a few of them. Most have moved on to become successful in their chosen fields, careers, and little letters like this are their way of expressing gratitude. It's one thing Mum and Da are proud of, rightfully so, and I'm happy for them. But there are times I wish they'll remember they have a daughter here. The real one. Not that it's of any importance now. It's not like they didn't raise me well and provided for me. They did. I wouldn't be where I am now if it weren't for their hard work. So you wouldn't be a school teacher. I mean, that's what you wanted to do. Candy Crush, please! Mum is calling. Phone rings for a good minute before someone answers. Mum, her voice is warm as I remember.
Becca?
Hi, Mum. How's the conference?
Well enough. Until your dad sprained his ankle.
Oh no, is it bad?
I'm alright. In case anyone in this family cares to listen, I'm alright. Very much alive, darling.
And there you have it. He'll be up and walking in a few weeks, don't worry. We're going to have to extend our stay here until it heals, though.
We're gonna have to extend our stay here. Oh, Jesus.
Is something the matter?
No, please. Why are you irritating me?
Nothing big. Just that this mail arrived for you this morning.
A lie. Thankfully, she doesn't notice. Although, if I'm going to be honest, a small part of me yearns for her to do so and ask me about it. But I put down that idea almost as soon as it surfaces. I shouldn't make them fret. They're busy.
What does it say?
Raise your glasses, give cheers to the good times, blah blah.
Becca manners. That isn't how I taught you to read.
Sorry. You are cordially... it's an invitation, Mum, for a housewarming party. From, Hana?
The name rings a bell, though at the moment I can't recall when or where I've heard it recently. It must be nothing too important if I didn't bother committing to it memory. There are a lot of Hannahs in the world, so who knows?
Hana.
She also wrote you a note, Mum. It says you used to be her private tutor at the Evans mansion. And that she misses you and would love to see you two again.
Makes my heart clench. To read another openly say those words to them, the same ones I want to tell them. I want to see you too. It's been years since we've been together as family, and if there's one thing that hasn't changed from childhood, it's that Mum and Dad are still busy with their respective careers. Shame, man. Out of the country, away on some meeting or symposium, sometimes for months on end. It only grew more frequent with the years until I'm old enough to live on my own. I'd like to think that's how I've become independent at such an early age. They've always praised me for that. At times I wish they didn't.
Evans? Oh, I remember now. Honey, it's Hana. Hana Evans. Remember? Bright girl, 2 years older than Becca?
Didn't she get married a few years ago? 7 now, I think. But, they grow up so fast, these kids.
Yeah, she invited us to that too. Fonte de Medici. But we missed that one because you had to present your paper in Singapore.
We did send her a note after. Still a shame we couldn't attend, though. What is it about this time?
She sent another invite for a housewarming party. Becca, when is it?
This Friday, Mum.
Oh, that's too bad. We'd love to be there, but Da's not in a condition to go walking around.
Yes, you've told me you have to stay longer to take care of him. Fuck.
I guess we'd have to decline.
Excuse my language.
I really...
I could go in your place.
I let it slip without thinking. Personally, I've never been fond of gatherings, regardless of how simple people make it seem. But if there's one thing I hate hearing, that disappointed note in Mum's voice always ranks first. Whether it's directed at me or some other thing doesn't matter.
Are you sure? Don't you have work this Friday?
The event will be in the evening, Mum. It shouldn't take anything away from my schedule. It's all right. The invite's for 2 people. I can bring someone with me so things don't get boring.
I see. Maybe you can also invite Ashton?
Oh, great, Mum. Thank you for that advice. Invite my long-time crush that I cannot admit I have a crush for him.
Mum, that's a sure no from him. He hates attending parties. But I'll see what I can do. If not, I can always bring Isabella with me. You know her. She won't say no if there's food involved.
Okay, if it's not going to be a big problem for you, I don't see why not. We owe you this one, darling.
No problem, Mum. I'll even say hi to Hana for you.
Please do. And let her her once we're back in the city. Leave her our number or something.
Yeah, okay, Jesus.
I will.
But you know, the two of you would have become really good friends. Don't you remember? You met with her once. If my memory serves me right, you were 12 then?
This too I can't recall. It's probably one of those meetings where we only talked a bit before going our ways. If she did have an impression, I'm pretty sure I would have written about it somewhere, or at least recognized her name. As it is, the only few people I remember clearly from that time in my life is Ashton and Mandy. Who's Mandy? To some extent. Mum must have sensed my confusion because she
Don't
laughs.
push yourself too hard, darling.
Oh geez, Mom, thanks for having such great confidence in me.
Really? It felt like having two daughters back then. Sometimes I wish they didn't send her away to boarding school. But, well, you know how often that goes with them.
Who is she talking about? The Hannah or Mandy?
Still, try talking to her while you're there.
Oh, she's talking about Hannah, okay.
We'll see. I'll let you know what happens after.
I'm looking forward to it, darling. Take care of yourself.
Will do. You too, Mum. Bye. Tell Dar to be careful next time.
15 minutes later, I'm heading back out, dressed for the day, my car keys in hand. Ordinarily, I don't stop for anything. There's never a need to. As the beauty of this apartment complex is quiet and everyone keeps to themselves. It's where I like it. No useless platitudes in the morning, no need to wear a smile on your face lest other people are nosy enough to ask. Today, however, the morning broadcast still plays from Isabella's room. My brisk pace slows to a stop, and a frown gradually forms in my face.
She hasn't left.
Of course, this isn't unusual. There are times when I've left earlier than she did, like last Friday before their open house. But those days are few and far between. It only happens in the duress circumstances, though the last part of that might be a bit of an exaggeration. However, with what's happened in the last few days, maybe today is one. The death of a friend isn't something anyone can brush off, and for someone like Isabella's the kind who gets attached to people easily. With Zachary, Ashton and I, that has been the case. I can't imagine what she might be going through right now, especially when the woman was someone she owed a lot, despite their training being brief.
Oh, whatever. I've still got time anyway.
Are you going in there?
Isabella? Belle? Are you in there?
No answer. After a second I finally knock. Never mind how she never lets that happen ever. Waste of electricity and all.
I just want to check on you before I leave. Is that okay? Are you going to work today? Belle?
Still nothing.
I'm about to leave. If you want, I can drop you off.
Another round of knocking. Then I'm fishing out a copy of her key from my bag and unlocking the door. She lent it years ago after I complained about the mess and offered my help in cleaning up. I thought the gesture was completely unnecessary back then. After all, I could always knock. But she never did bother taking them from me, always returning it or returning back from the conversation whenever I insist.
Isabella? I'm coming in, all right?
Without waiting for her answer, I push the door open and step inside. Her unit's still a mess. Instant noodle cups on the table, a pile of clothes on one side, papers strewn about everywhere, and an unkept bed, among other things. This much is a given, will always be a given. I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but it's certainly not finding an empty flat.
Authorities are still trying to find the cause of death for all the victims. Early investigation revealed most of them were employed under Briar Realty Corporation at the time of death. Meanwhile, BRC has refused to comment on this.
Jesus Christ, that was quick. Gathering my wits, I immediately place a call to her mobile. It rings for a good minute, the sound a comfort in itself. When another minute rolls by without her answering, well, I'm not a woman prone to panicking. Sudden bouts of temper maybe, but never panic, despite how I may sound when speaking. And when it ultimately goes straight to her voicemail, sigh is the only thing I let out. The pause doesn't last long though. In the next moment, my fingers are already moving across the screen in search of the two people who might be able to help. Ashton, of course.
Becca? Christ, what time is it? What's up?
Not you, apparently.
Good one. Did you call us early just to make that joke? I'm going back to sleep.
No, Ash, hold on. This is important.
Becca, stakeout last night. Make this quick. I've still got a few hours before the chief bothers me.
Sorry, I'll let you go back to sleep after. It's just that... Wait, you were on a stakeout last night?
Did I say that? Shit. Forget I said that. Forget I said anything. Forget we had this conversation.
So, you have no idea?
About what? About what? I also have no idea why we're talking so early in the morning, so there's that.
No, will you stop sleep talking or whatever for a second? Belle didn't come home last night. She's gone.
Who?
Isabella!
Instead of an answer, a brief pause comes after, followed by something blunt and heavy hitting a hard surface and a string of rather colourful curses from him. That's what you call fucking... That's a string of curses. Ah! Really?
Gone, Ash. She didn't come home last night. Her flat's empty. She left her telly running. You know she doesn't do that at...
Okay, Becca, stop. Calm down first. You're starting to panic.
I'm not.
You are. Breathe. One person's not going to simply disappear like that. This is Isabella we're talking about. Did you try calling her?
What did you think is the first thing I did? She's not picking up. It went to her voicemail.
How about Zach? Did you check with him?
Not yet. I didn't want to bother him.
Poor
He
Zach.
had trouble sleeping and all that.
My heart goes out to him. I still don't know if he's still alive.
Alright, I'll go ask Zach. I'll call you back.
Okay.
No, wait.
He ends the call before I can utter a single word of protest. But for the first time since entering this room, tension is gone from my shoulders and my breathing has eased. Feels strangely calm to be here without worry nagging at me. I'll have to apologize to Zachary later for sending Ashton his way this early, but for now, relying on the latter for this isn't the wrong choice. It never will be. That's something I won't ever doubt in him, much like his promises. And true to his words, he calls back only a few minutes after the last one has ended.
She's with Zach.
Oh, great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. She could have at least sent a message last night.
What are you, her mother?
It's one thing to hear that from Isabella, but from Ashton?
I don't want to hear anything like that from...
I'm serious. You've got to stop treating her like she's one of your students, Becca. You don't have to keep tabs on her every time. Last I checked, she's only 3 years younger than the two of us. That's almost a decade gap from those kids you're teaching, you know.
Says the person who keeps calling her Scaredy Cat.
That's not related at all. Anyway, I'll go check how she's doing. Don't stress yourself out. You go ahead to work.
Wait, you? Don't you have a precinct to be at? Whatever happened to not treating her like one of my students? Because if anyone's going to ask me, I think you're doing the same thing.
Zach said it's an emergency. Something happened last night.
Emergency?
He didn't put in those exact same words, but it sounded like it.
Ash, what really happened? Is Isabella fine?
She's alright. She's safe. Zach let her stay the night after she...
That's when she was freaking out.
Look, okay. Z-Man wasn't clear about it, but let me handle this. I'll check on her. I'll bring her home.
Great, thank you so much, Ashton. I can handle it. Sorry for the trouble. Sorry for the trouble, I guess.
Sorry for putting you up to this.
Nah, don't mention it. You've got other things you need to worry about. Take care of those first. This is a small thing.
I still owe you one.
Oh, I can name a few things you can do about that. You know, there's this ice cream shop that opened near the movie house. I could use...
Okay, let's stop right there. That's enough. On second thought, maybe I'll just think about it some other time.
Harsh.
I don't know why they don't get together. I mean, like, they get along, man. What's the problem?
Really. Thanks for this, Ash.
I'll let you know what happened afterwards, I promise. I'll call you later. You have a good day. Bye.
Great. Now that that's all sorted out, we can get back to work and whatever and get some jump scares and...
No, really. Rowan knows about it. He used to be in the same class with them.
Huh?
I can hear you from back here, you know.
Whatever, Rowan.
I guess the students are talking to each other.
Anyway, the story goes like this. There were 3 of them. They entered the mansion on a dare, and they were
Those
all
are those
never seen
kids!
again.
On the tape! On the recorder
No one
thing!
knows what happened to them. Up to this day. Scary shit, man.
Cock and bull story. Calling it now.
No, you don't get it. Why don't you ask Miss Gales then? Better yet, why don't you go inside the place? I'm betting my allowance you can't do it.
You getting an allowance? I never got a bloody allowance.
Back to your worksheets, everyone. And I don't want to hear any talk of dares or going inside that mansion. It's private property now. You'd all better stay away from it before...
What the fuck? At the noise, the whole lot of them goes silent. You can almost hear a pin drop. The look on their faces would have made for a funny picture, but that's irrelevant at the moment. If this is a student loitering around, someone's going to be in trouble.
I'll be back. If you're done, you can leave your worksheets on my desk. Keep the noise to a minimum while I'm gone, okay?
She's pretty damn calm for a bunch of, what, teenagers? What, she teaching a high school or something? Class is still in session for most of the rooms. In a few hours, once the final bell rings, however, this place will once again be filled with busy chatter and footfalls, an everyday cycle in itself. But for a moment I let the silence guide me, my ears focusing on whatever sounds there are or there will be, searching for that distinct clanging of metal. A good minute passes, and for a portion of it, only my steps echoes through the halls, and another footsteps. I'm about to turn around when... Oh! With the hallway devoid of people, if I don't put a stop to it soon, it'll start to disturb the other classes still going on. Looking for it doesn't take long. All I do is follow the racket, and shortly I'm standing in front of a nondescript row of unoccupied lockers. And from one of them, sitting in the middle, comes the noise, annoyingly disruptive now that I'm facing it. Like someone's pounding on the metal door from the inside, hoping to get out. Leaning forward, I try to get a glimpse through the horizontal slots of whatever's causing it. But in this light, only darkness greets me, and another round of clanging. Louder than previous one. More desperate. I've heard stories before, from other schools, from a few colleagues who had to deal with it once or twice. Although personally I've never encountered one myself, and I can only thank the heavens I haven't yet. But
If this is another kid some other student stuffed in a locker...
with a huff, I straighten up and study it briefly with a frown. Without delay I reach for its handle, and at once it stops. Immediately replaced by the muffled sound of a mobile phone ringing. I give the door a few raps before taking my attention away. A second, another. When nothing or no one responds, I finally avert my eyes and I pull out my mobile. Ashton's voice greets me from the other end of the line, oddly cheerful in light of this morning's matter. Or maybe because I'm just expecting some grave or serious news from him. Instead I get
Hey,
this.
Becca?
Well, you sound happy.
I do? My voice still sounds the same to me.
He does sound different. The only two things I know of that could be the reason for that tone. Sweets, or he's gotten a good lead in this case. From the sound of it, I'm going to assume it's the former, since lately that case is all that's running inside his head. It can only be one of the two.
Ignore that. How's Isabella?
Already home. Sorry I didn't get to call you earlier. I had to head to the precinct after.
That's all right. Is she okay now?
I'm not really sure. She didn't say anything to Zach, but she mentioned a plan to take a few days off from work. It was a
Okay.
passing comment before I left her, so I didn't get to ask.
Must be because of Rose's death.
Zach's story, though. He said she was shaking when she got there.
Shaking?
The word triggers a memory. From 3 days ago on the way home from her little treat after she sold the mansion. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I won't lie, it scared me. The terrified look on her face, how she sounded when she suddenly screamed.
Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered something. Sorry, don't mind me.
Look, if you can talk to her, get the story out of her. That would be great. She wouldn't talk to Zach or me even when I tried. Maybe she'll speak up if it's you.
Alright.
I'll give it a go, but I can't promise anything, okay? You know how stubborn she can get. But thanks for letting me know about this. If you want, I can get you that ice cream thing you mentioned tonight. As thanks. Just as thanks for all the trouble I've caused today.
Believe me, I'd love to take you up on that offer, but I've got something on my schedule this evening. Maybe some other time? Thanks a lot, Becca.
There's a short pause before it cuts the call from his end, and once again I'm alone with my thoughts. Are we still standing in front of the banging locker?
Alright, enough eavesdropping. All of you, back to your seats.
Is that your boyfriend, Miss Scales?
None of your business.
He totally is. Shaking my head, I head back to the classroom with a smile, but not before taking a glance at the locker again. It hasn't made a sound since.
Must be the wind.
Must be the fucking wind, Jesus. Whoa! What was that? What was that little snippet there? What was that for? Dude, I got goosebumps now. All of a sudden. Not necessary. That was not necessary. What the fuck? Dude, you don't even understand. Nevertheless, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, if only because I'm also worried about her, and both Zachary and Ashton deem it important that somebody get the story out of her. Here's to hoping it's got nothing to do with that letter again. I understand she feels a bit stressed lately, but keeping that story going for more than a week is... it's bound to get tiring at one point. You damn straight Jesus, what was that blood on the locker thing? And she didn't even get to check it! What happened to this woman, man? It's racking my brain! Seriously, I merely don't want this to end in another argument. God willing, the cafe special will help smoothen things out. After all, it's always been food with her, or money. But mostly food. Every time the screen goes dark, I'm expecting a jump scare, so I don't trust the game at all. At this hour, the cafe is usually filled to the brim with people. That's the reason Isabel and I rarely ever go here during the evenings. It's simply too much of a hassle when we can prepare food ourselves in the comfort of our homes, and there really isn't much reason to eat out lately. What with life going on, a busy streak. No time for long lines. Better spend that doing something productive, yes?
Lucky there isn't one tonight.
It's pretty damn empty. There's only 2 people. One guy sitting at the back watching this chick drinking a coffee. And that's it. The cakes are looking rather deliciously though. But I'm on a diet, so I can't have that confection that's filled with sweet, delicious goodness. No. No. No! What the hell is he doing here? The other 2, a posh-looking man and a child, who I immediately recognize as Kylie, appear to have not yet picked anything they want. What the hell is he doing with her? Kylie. Isn't Kylie his niece? I think that's what it is. My stare lingers at the guy. Though dressed relatively well and looks harmless, I haven't seen him around these parts before. Someone new in the neighborhood, perhaps. Even so, there's something familiar in him. It feels like I've seen him somewhere before. That also begs the question of why Kylie is with him. Of course, the girl easily takes a liking to anyone who buys her sweets, so it's both a bit worrisome and unsurprising. Jesus, okay, so she's gonna accept sweet from everyone. Don't you know you're not supposed to accept sweets from strangers? Well, maybe he's not strange. If it's Kylie, the Kylie I think it is, then it's just his niece. Don't worry about it. But, you know, don't accept sweets from strangers. I mean, I'm an adult and I don't even take my eyes away from them soon enough once the guy at the counter appears, ready to take my order. That, and I'd also hate to be accused of oogling strangers.
2, evening special, takeout.
He's already punching the order before I even finish. Saying my order out loud is really more for formality's sake and made out of habit. He has known Isabella and I long enough that if we ever drop by here, he already knows it's always because I'm buying dinner for the two of us. I rarely visit here alone if I can help it, but Isabella can sometimes be a bad influence. He gives me a small smile before leaving to prepare my order while I fish for my wallet when...
Look, you little ankle biter. If I buy you the biggest parfait they have, will you please behave? I would just like 10 minutes of peace and quiet.
You said you'll get me some bread pudding this time.
Yeah, well, darling, they said they ran out of it. Just pick another one so we can be on our way.
Their parfait doesn't look as cute as the one my mom bought me.
Parfait is just ice cream, sweetheart. It'll melt no matter how dainty it appears. In the end, it'll all look like an ugly puddle. Now come on, just pick one. It could even be the most expensive one on that list. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
He's really not good with kids. Damn.
What I would give for someone to buy you off my hands right now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. My whole attention instantly snaps back to them and their conversation. Jumping to conclusions is something I'm particularly fond of, especially when all I have are baseless assumptions, but you can't really trust a stranger these days. No one around the cafe seems to have noticed his words either. Very suspicious words. Still, I don't move, yet. My hand has already shifted from my wallet to the book I'm carrying. A hard-bound textbook looks harmless, but if a situation calls for it, it might be a good deadly weapon. Might. I haven't gotten the chance to try it anywhere so far. Today could be the day.
But you promised.
Jesus Christ, kid! Pick one of them! One! It doesn't matter which one, it's all sweet goodness. You're gonna eat it, gonna be in your tummy, then you're gonna shit it out anyway, so just pick one! Damn!
Look, if you don't want a parfait, how about a Bonifay pie? I'm sure it'll taste just as good as any other bread pudding. I'll even buy you the entire tray. How does that sound?
That's not what you said before.
Well, sweetheart, adults change their minds sometimes.
You said if I come with you, you'll buy me a bread pudding, and I did, and now you won't keep your promise. I want to go home. I miss my mom.
No, darling, if I remember correctly, and I have a good memory, honey. What I said was, if you come quietly with me, I might buy you one.
Jesus, his words are more suspicious by the second.
The quiet part didn't happen. Though now that I'm sober, I think this is a bad idea. I should just ship you someplace else for that peace and quiet.
Ooh, oh, that's it. No hesitation. In a few paces, he's within my reach, and without warning, I'm slamming the flat area of the book against his skull.
Ow!
There's a cry of pain followed by him instantly crouching down, hands nursing the sore spot. Almost comically, if this were a different situation and the safety of a St. Goretti student isn't at stake, I'd probably feel sorry for him. I mean, has anyone seen how thick the book is?
Get behind me, Kylie.
Miss Pink!
It's amusing how fast her expression changes from the pouty one earlier to something that of utter delight upon seeing me. But there's no time for any pleasantries, not even quick ones, because soon the man straightens and I'm readying my favorite newfound weapon for another hit. Except this time he's ready, and before I can land another one, his hand shoots up to catch my wrist in a firm hold. Oh damn! Oh damn! And the look on his face!
Hell, woman, what's your problem?
Oh damn! To say he's pissed would be a complete understatement. Had I been the weak-willed sort, I'd probably cower under this sharp gaze, but that simply isn't how I roll. If he thinks he can scare me and do as he pleases here just because I'm a woman or whatever his reasons may be, he's got another thing coming for him. So instead, I return it to him with the same intensity, with the same venom. Oh, this is like Days of Our Lives, damn, give me more.
What's my problem? You're the one who has a problem here. Rotten bowbags like you don't deserve the freedom to run this town. What are you doing to this girl?
Yeah!
And why is that any of your business, pray tell?
Pray tell.
My business if I make it to be. Now, release me or I'll call the police.
You think that scares me, Daisy?
Daisy, what the fuck is Daisy?
I have a name, you sleazy douchebag.
Oh, I'm sure.
His grip on my hand only tightens when I attempt to shake it off. His tone may be dripping with anger and sarcasm, but the gleam in his eyes say it all. He's getting a kick out of this. Riling people up, getting on their nerves, invading their personal space. He knows exactly what and which buttons to press. The nerve of this person. The nerve of this arsehole. If he thinks I'm going to give in to his goading or whatever, please, he might as well just kiss his sorry behind. Hit him where it hurts. Shout for help. Hit him where it hurts, man.
Mister, you have until the count of 5 to let me go and step out of my personal space.
A fair warning. Fairer than any I can offer for people of this kind, and I'm already being considerate. Hell, this also doesn't even deserve a warning. If he doesn't listen, well, he's as much responsible for what will happen next as anyone.
Or else what?
Ooh, sleazy douchebag. You got it coming to you, bruh.
Such vulgar words coming out of that pretty mouth. A
Oh!
gorgeous flower like you shouldn't even be saying.
Don't say I didn't warn you, bowbag.
Love that intensity, Daisy.
Ah! What the fuck?
I like feisty in a woman. It gives them this certain charm.
What the fuck is happening?
Why don't you?
What and I what? What?
5.
A second of silence. Then without any preamble, my leg moves in one fluid motion and delivers a swift, powerful, well-placed kick to his nether regions. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is so Days of Our Lives. Needless to say, the effect is instantaneous. He yelps, abruptly drops his hold on me, and kneels over, howling from the pain. I could see tears forming at the corner of his eyes too, though the mere sight of it prompts not an ounce of remorse from him. I would have been gentler if he isn't such a dirty little prick with an ego too big for his head. Too bad. Whether this obliterates any chance of him ever procreating remains to be known, but a part of me is already praying he doesn't ever breed after this. We have no need of more of him in this world. No, we do not, Rebecca!
You mad woman!
Look at the child, she said.
I warned you, you ass.
Why this is harassment, I'm telling you! Harassment!
I believe it's pronounced harassment, but anyways.
Then why don't you tell that to the police once they get here?
What you gonna do about it, bruh?
You despicable!
You are despicable.
Whatever you're assuming I am, I'll have you know it's all in your head. None of it's true.
Oh, really?
You best have that pretty brain of yours checked before that gets worse.
Well, at least I'm pretty
What's
now.
wrong with you? Is this the face of someone who'd do anything suspicious?
Oh,
Yes.
You don't think a stranger luring an innocent child with promises of sweets before whisking them away from their parents doesn't warrant any suspicion? You have a very funny definition of suspicious, asshole. Maybe you're the one who should have that head of yours checked.
The kid asked me to buy her sweets. You're the one who's suspicious here. I'll have you know, I have a wife.
Oh, the plot thickens. It gets worse. He has a wife, and he's luring a child. That much at least appears to have a sliver of truth to it. He even makes a show of brandishing his left hand to my face with much flourish. Sure enough, a wedding ring is there, Though all that earned him is an unimpressed glare from me. This is the unimpressed glare. An unimpressed glare! Immediately, a small part of me starts to feel sorry for whatever poor woman married this sod. I don't understand why he has to bring her up either, as if the mention of her alone will magically present a solution to his problem. She must truly be a remarkable woman if she can handle a dirtbag like him.
And even my wife of all people in this...
My wife!
Never, I'm telling you!
Never!
Feel such a scandalous thing!
Never!
You crazy woman!
You crazy woman!
Married or not, you're still a sleaze. Honestly, I feel...
Miss Pink, why are you fighting with my Tio?
You what? Huh? Whatever word still left to be said here dies on my tongue. The same thing goes for the sleaze. Beside us stands Kylie, gawking at us with that same curious stare she often brings with her. I know that looks all too well, a precocious child through and through. She doesn't say anything further. Her gaze simply moves between us, eyeing us both carefully, clearly anticipating an answer. From my experience, when it gets like this with children her age, it's a sure sign they won't leave you until you've given them an answer they're satisfied with. Lying won't do either. It has dissolved into a shouting match, for heaven's sake. And did she just say Tio? Something falls straight to the pit of my stomach at that. But my tone is gentle when I finally address her, void of any apprehension and what might be the first hints of embarrassment. I pointedly ignore the latter. It can very well be just the hunger speaking.
Kylie, sweetie, do you know this oaf?
This ass?
Yeah, he's Tio Luke.
Tio Luke. Right. So, my brain stops. Every line of thought, every argument I still have against the man beside me dissipates in a haze. Amidst all of it, one memory gets triggered from a few days ago.
Tio? The one you mentioned before? The uncle? The guy Rowan wanted to impress? Or was that a dare? I'm sorry, I can't recall.
Damn, it is the bloody niece.
Is it the one who promised he'll take Big Brother someplace cool?
Yeah, the one and the same. Don't you know who he is?
Sure as hell don't, darling. Because if I do, I wouldn't have let everything I said earlier come out of my mouth.
He's my Tio Luke. Gazillionaire extraordinaire, am I? No. The fairy godfather.
Gazillionaire extraordinaire. Oh, wow, okay, I'm never gonna let that down.
He's your godfather.
That explains
That's
it.
nice.
Yeah, that explains it. Damn.
The one and only. Did I get that right, Tio?
More than right, sweetheart. I'm sure Miss Pink here understood everything you said quite perfectly.
That shit. Apologize to Luke, apologize to Kylie. I think... No. He's a good-for-nothing asshole, man. With that whole Days of Our Lives acting in front of me, man. That is no. He needs to apologize to me for making me feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna apologize to Kylie. Yes, let's do it.
Don't worry, Kylie. I'm not fighting with your Tio. This is just a discussion.
A discussion, yeah.
A very serious discussion between a very mature adult and one that's not.
And the one that's not is him. So, yeah, I'm glad we got it cleared up.
Really? But I've never seen Tio angry before.
It's because he's losing the argument.
Yeah.
But don't ever follow his example, Kylie. You should always learn to be patient, even if things aren't going your way, okay?
Oh sure, a discussion. And it involves hitting random strangers you meet at a cafe with a book.
Listen here, buddy, okay? I've apologized to young Kylie over here. So just back it off, okay? You made me uncomfortable, so you the one who's been apologizing to me.
A hardbound book.
Well, yeah, maybe you should pick one up sometime and read it.
Mind you, The little me hasn't recovered yet. If my future generation never survives from this, we are going to have more than words, woman!
Oh god, okay.
Language! How can you use such crude words in front of her? Your goddaughter can hear you, for heaven's sake.
Oh, and you didn't. If I remember everything correctly, you called me a rotten beau.
So you're going to repeat it in front of her, just to make a point? What, are you 5? Even 5-year-olds are more sensible than you.
Even Isabella. I could say that with much certainty.
Even 5-year-olds are more sensible than you.
Oh, really? We're gonna do this now, bruh?
See what I mean?
Are you fighting again?
No.
Oh, no.
No,
Like
no.
I said, we were just having a discussion. We're actually done now.
Yeah, so if you can move to the side so I can get my food, that'd be
But
great.
You need to promise Miss Pink you will never grow up like this guy. Good kids don't do what he's doing.
But I like Tio.
And
Okay.
I'm quite sure Tio likes you too. But liking people is different. Just because you like him doesn't mean you have to be like him. There are better role models for you aside from him.
That's true.
Like you?
Yeah, like me. Damn, go for it, girl.
Not exactly what I'm trying to get at. But if that's what you want, I don't see why not.
Okay, I want to be like Miss Pink someday. I want to be a teacher,
Oh, great.
and I promise I won't be like Tio, even if he's a gazillionaire.
That's fine. You can be a gazillionaire teacher if you want to.
Wow, turning my own goddaughter against me. How mature of you, Miss Pink.
For the first time since this talk started, I look at him. Briefly, something flashes behind his eyes. Something close to what might be an expectation falling. Dismay. I can't be sure. It passes almost as soon as it appears. What's that about? Does he actually like having Kylie around? It doesn't seem like it from the get-go. But if that fond smile on him is anything to judge by, then maybe.
Don't worry, Tio. If you buy me bread pudding tonight, I'll like you again.
Oh, if that's all it takes, consider it done, sweetheart.
They don't have bread pudding, bruh. You already told her this.
We might have to find another place to buy it from, though. Somewhere safe, where a random crazy woman isn't going to attack us out of the blue. Let's go.
Okay. Bye, Miss Pink. I still like you, just not more than Tio anymore.
Okay.
See you.
Alright. Cheers. I'm glad that days of our lives thing is over. Alright, you guys. I think I'm going to leave the episode there. If you liked it and enjoyed it, don't hesitate to hit that like button and subscribe for some more content. And leave me some suggestions as well. Always love hearing your comments and your suggestions. We are going to be continuing Doom 3. That is a definite. I've been thinking that I'm going to do maybe a couple of Friday the 13th gameplays if you guys want, if you guys are interested in that. And we'll continue the letter. I really want to finish it. I really want to find out what happens at the end. Okay, we're on Rebecca's story. I think it's Rebecca, and then it's Luke, and then it's Ashton. And I think that's it. I think that's finished. I think it's just 3 more people we need to get through. Yes. Luke. Wait. Yes, Rebecca, Luke, Ashton. I think. I'm gonna have to check. But anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to see you guys next time. Until then, have an awesome day or night in the gaming world. Cheers.